Hi, welcome to my Teams tutorial. I sent this out to you guys so I can get to know a little bit more about your setup at home and so that we can both get the most out of Teams possible for our class this year. In order to begin this tutorial, you do need to be aware that I am working on a Windows device. If you are trying to perform this tutorial on a MacBook or a Mac device, you will be able to do it, but the key commands will not match up with what I am telling you in this video. Also, if you are trying to work on an iPad or any other kind of tablet, this is not designed to be done on that either. It will not work the same way. You can accomplish the assignment on any of those devices, but you're on your own for how to do them basically. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to go over here to the attachment that I put up here, which is a Word document. You're going to want to go over to this right arrow here where it says More Actions, and you're going to go ahead and you are going to save it to your OneDrive. Once that is done, if you click on the arrow again, you have the option to view in OneDrive. Do not try to accomplish this in the email browser itself. It will not work the same way. Once you click that button, you'll be taken to the Attachments OneDrive folder in your OneDrive itself. If you click on the Word document, it will go ahead and pop open, and you will be given your basic OneDrive ribbon up here. If yours does not look like mine, it is because I have the advanced version of it open. That's a personal choice. I prefer to see more rather than to see less. So the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to learn how to take a screenshot and to put it onto a Word document. This is a very useful tool to have in your agenda and toolbox, so that way you are ready to go with whatever screenshot you happen to need in the future. So we're going to go ahead and screenshot our desktop. I'm just going to minimize my window here, and I am going to go ahead and hit the Alt and print screen buttons. They are not going to do anything on the screen as you see it right now. What's going to happen though is when you go back into the document we were just working on and you click right after the number 1 here, you're going to hit the buttons Control and V, and it's going to go ahead and post in the picture we just took. Because of the settings on my computer, it's only showing you the bottom bar here, but that is what the desktop should look like. For step number 2, we're going to go ahead and we are going to insert a picture of a paw print. In order to accomplish this, we are going to go up to the top and we're going to hit insert. And then we are going to go into Bing. If you are, again, not seeing the same view, you would see picture and then you want the Bing for the internet search. You are going to go and just search in here for paw print. And paw prints, there are a whole bunch of them. Whichever one you happen to like, you are going to go ahead and click on. I'm just going to use the first one and hit insert. And it will go into that box for you. The next step is to go back to your Office 365 account, which you should already be logged into, and go ahead and take a screenshot of what it looks like when you first log in. I have several tabs up on the top here. My first tab is going to be the first login screen, and this is what I'm going to take a screenshot of. And again, I'm going to use the Alt print screen, and I'm going to go back to my Word document and put my cursor right after the number 3, and I'm going to hit my Control V button. This one is going to paste differently because I was in the web browser when I was recording this particular screenshot. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to take a look at Microsoft Teams itself. Once you go back to your original landing page here, if you click on the Teams tile, which is going to be to your far right, it's going to load your Teams options. You are going to see a different set of teams than what you see on the account right here. This is my son's account, so I am working on this in August. You are not getting the full experience of all the classes he's enrolled in. And for this tutorial, I did make a team just for this particular situation. So I'm going to click on the tile view here is the standard view most students have. So for number 4, it asked you to insert a screenshot of what this page looks like for your teams. There are 2 different views, which I'm going to get into in a second. And again, to do your screenshot, you're going to hit that Alt button and print screen. And then you're going to go back to your Word document, place your cursor, and can hit Control V to put in what your screenshot looks like. Again, everyone's screenshots are going to look slightly different. Now, this is the part where you get to go ahead and customize what your teams looks like a little bit. So in the upper right-hand corner of your team, right next to the Join or Create Teams button, you do have this little gear. This little gear is going to give you some options. The switch view is what we are concerned about right now. So there are some choices in here. You can leave it as the default, which is the purple and white. You have the dark option, high contrast option, and you can either go with a grid layout or a list layout. I personally use the list layout because I can see more teams at one time. But if you prefer the tiles or the grids, then keep it on however you would like it. I am going to switch this over to dark just so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to go and put it back because I know my son likes it the other way. So again, it just shifts it over to the dark view. And if you prefer that, that's totally up to you. Once you've decided what you want your teams to look like, you're going to go ahead and take another screenshot. This is going to help me for the future. So if you have any issues, I can go ahead and know what you are looking at to help you the best. So again, you're going to hit that Alt and print screen combination. You're going to go back to your Word document, put your cursor right after the number 5, and hit Control V. Okay. Keep in mind that if you do go and change the view of your team to be the list view, some of the little gears you see are going to move around. So just be aware of that as we continue through this tutorial. The next step on your tutorial is you are going to go ahead and see if you have any hidden teams. Over on the far left here, if you are in the tile view, you have this little hidden teams next to this little arrow. In this case, he happens to have 3 teams that are hidden. You may have more or less than this number. It totally depends on what is in your particular team's account. And for that reason alone, I am going to ask you to again take a screenshot. So you're going to hit the Alt and print screen buttons yet again, and then you're going to come over to your Word document. Make sure you put your cursor where you want it and hit Control V to place in your screenshot of what it looks like. Now, here's a couple other things about Teams itself. There are different indicators that can be happening on Teams for a different number of reasons. And there are different parts to the team itself. So I'm just going to click into the shadow team because that is where some of this is going to be set up. On the far left here, you have your app bar. Your app bar includes a variety of different apps that are available to you. Activity is just a whole bunch of different notifications that are happening. This is where everything lives in one place for notifications. So that can sometimes be overwhelming to click on that bell. The chat box bubble here will take you into any chats that you happen to have going on. This is where you'll get notified when assignments are returned to you, or if someone wants to say something directly to you. The chat function is available to both students and teachers, and it is consistently modified by the district. So be careful what you are sending to anyone. The next one down is your main teams button, which will take you to your list of teams. You have an assignments bar here, and this is going to list all of the different assignments that you could possibly have. I'll get a little bit more into this later. The calendar bar over here will tell you if there's anything on your calendar. At this particular moment in August, Joe's calendar is wide open. And then you have a little file section over here. I suggest not worrying about the file section too much right now, but just know that it is there. So going back to the teams here, I am in the shadow team already. And then I am going to take a look at the questions on my sheet. The next question asked if any of the team names are bold. If any of your team names happen to be bold, which none of them do with this, this one actually is bold at the moment, that means there is a waiting notification in that team for you to take a look at. These bolded out indicators here are not the only indicators that live in Teams. You can see indicators along the app bar at any time for any piece of information that happens to be waiting for you. The other information that you need to be aware of is actually inside of the individual team itself. So up along the top of every team, you will see a list of different things that live here. The first one is always general. The second is posts. Then you have files, class notebook, assignment, grades, and depending upon what your teacher adds or does not add, you will have additional things living here. Sometimes you will have a plus sign next to one of these words indicating there are more things that are hidden that you should take a look at. For this particular team, I did add the HMH ebook so you can see where your science book will live, so we can log in that way. Beyond that, if you happen to see a one more over here, that will show you other information that is hidden in there. For this particular team, we do not have as many tabs as possible. So you will see that there is no one more indicator right there. So beyond that, now we need to go in and learn to use Teams a little bit in and of itself. Okay. Inside of Teams on the far left here, you have a section of the team that will give you all of the channels where the channels happen to live. On the far right here in the canvas, that's where we are writing our information. A team can have any number of channels that the teacher chooses to set in there for you to use. So on this particular team, we only have 2 channels at the moment. If you happen to see a channel that has a lock next to it, that is a private channel that allows you to only communicate with the people that are in that channel. Everybody else in the team will not have access to it that is not invited to be part of that particular section. A teacher can use that for any number of things, including a project or specific group work that he or she would like to do with you. So just keep that in mind. For this next section, we're going to work in the who's who section here, and we are going to create a new conversation. So a new conversation is what's always waiting for you on the bottom here for you to start the information about yourself. For number 10 on our worksheet, we're going to go ahead and you're going to introduce yourself to the class, and then you're going to screenshot your post. So you would just go ahead and start telling me a little bit about yourself. I'm just going to go ahead and write something about my son really quickly. I'm just going to say, my name is Joseph, and I am a 6th grader at JSMS. My mom teaches 8th grade science at CSMS. Baseball is my favorite sport. Now that I've posted to that channel, you can go ahead and you're going to go ahead and screenshot your own post. So again, with the Alt print screen, you're going to take a screenshot, go back to your document here. You will have filled in the rest of the information here. And then I am going to go ahead and place this right by the letter A. And I'm going to, again, Control V to paste it into the little section where it belongs. Now, in your team, when you are working on this, there will be other students who have responded to your post, and you are going to go ahead and respond to something your teammates have posted. There are different reactions you can choose to do, and I'm asking you to react to a post. So that is to use one of these 6 little emoji choices that you have here. You have a thumbs up, you have a heart, you have laughing, surprised, sad, and mad. For this particular post, I'm just going to like it, so I'm going to thumbs it up. And then back on the Word document that you are working on, you are going to tell me whose post you reacted to, so the name of that particular student. So I'm just going to put my son's name because I reacted to his. And you're going to tell me which emoji that you use. So in this case, it's the thumbs up. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to check out the assignments tab of your science team. Now, keep in mind that, again, the team that we're looking at is a team that I created for the purpose of this particular demonstration. There are not a whole lot of assignments that currently live in here. Inside of the assignments team, be aware that assignments up on the top of your team is not the same thing as the assignments in the app bar over here. They're going to take you to different places. So in this particular section, you have 2 pieces. You have an assigned section and you have a completed section. Right now, there are no pending assignments for this particular team, but there are a couple that have been completed. So you will see if you have completed and submitted your work that you will have your information listed here as to what you went ahead and submitted. So you have your sample assignment, and then if you were to click on it, you can go ahead and view your work, see what the information is here. If you needed to attach anything to an assignment, you would hit the little paperclip here where it says add work, and it will take you into options for attaching things to an assignment in Teams. The default is always going to be the OneDrive. So if your information is not in OneDrive, you have the option to upload from the device, or you can create a new file if there's something new that you wanted to do there. You can link a website, you can link other information, but this is really important to know that you are able to go ahead and add additional things on as needed. This often becomes a very useful tool if we are trying to upload something like a video of some kind, or if we're trying to upload an image of something maybe you drew or used another software program to create. Now that we've gone ahead and taken a look at that, we can go back and then we can hit our class notebook, which is our final stop. The class notebook will have its own dedicated video coming soon. But once you launch the class notebook information here, again, yours is going to look a little bit different because it will be set up for science. This one is just a general one. But every class notebook that you access, you are going to have the same setup pretty much when you enter it. So on the far left, you will have 4 tabs. You will have a welcome tab, which may or may not look like this. It depends upon the teacher that is using it and if they have changed that to make it reflective of their own class and personalized it. You will have the collaboration space, which again may be different. Teachers do have the ability to turn that off. You will have the content library and you will have a section with your name. I'm going to get into the specifics of how that works in the OneNote video. But for the sake of this video and this assignment, you do need to take another screenshot. So we're going to go ahead and hit that Alt print screen one more time. And we're going to go back to our Word document and we are going to paste it in here. I did forget to take a screenshot of the assignment section in Teams. Once this pops up in here, I'm going to go back to the assignments just to get that in there so we don't forget. So again, I'm going to Alt print screen and I'm going to go back to my Word document and put that where that belongs. Again, Control V will paste it right where you'd like it to be. And then the last question here, I am not going to answer on this particular document for you. Other than using my own information. So the first question is, what is the primary device that you'll be using for your schoolwork? Everyone is being issued an HP Stream. However, I know that sometimes people are more comfortable with other devices they happen to have at home. So I'm just going to assume you are using your HP Stream. If you are not, please indicate what you are using. Whether it's a Windows device, a MacBook, an iPad, some kind of tablet, your phone, I need to know that specifically. Also, I do need to know if your device has touchscreen or inking capability. Inking is when you can write on the screen directly with a stylus. So my HP Stream for school does not. So the answer is going to be no. And then last but not least, what internet browser are you using? I need to know if you're using Edge, Chrome. Those are the top 2. You can use Safari. It doesn't work quite as well, but it is functional. So I am going to say that I'm using Edge. And that's the end of my assignment. I did not fill in questions 7 through 9. Go back through my video and find out where everything is located. So you can go ahead and insert the answers for questions 7, 8, and 9. Last but not least, you need to get this back to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change the name of this document. I just hit the downward caret here, and I'm going to go to the far left of where the name is, and I'm going to change the name of it to be DiGregorio, which is the last name of yourself. Okay. My son's last name is DiGregorio, which is why I'm using that here. If your last name is Jones or Smith or whatever it happens to be, please put your last name first and then go ahead and close that out and you'll see that it changed. Make sure up here that it says saved, not saving. If it is listed as saving, it has not completed the process yet and you are at risk for losing your work. The final step to get this back to me is to go ahead and completely close out of your document now that it is saved. You know where it's living over here in your attachment section of your mail. So we're going to go back to our email and we are going to reply to this email and we are going to say assignment attached for your review. Thanks. Now, before you can do that, you need to go ahead and attach that assignment for me. So in order to do that, up on the top right here, you have your little paperclip. If you drop down to your little paperclip options, you are going to see that none of them match what you want it to be. So you're going to go on the bottom here, and we are going to hit the suggested attachment, which is the last document you worked on, which was the last name Teams 101 remote doc. This is the only assignment that you are going to send me through email unless I specifically tell you I want it emailed. Everything else will be sent in through either OneNote or it'll be sent in through Teams itself. I will go ahead and upload your work to your class notebook for you, and you will see it in there at a later date. Thank you so much for watching this. And last but not least, we are going to go ahead and send this email. Make sure you hit send, and then go ahead and make sure that the box changes to reflect that it was sent. Thank you so much. I hope you found this useful.